Hi, my name is Timon Woodruff, and today I'll be giving you an informative speech on active listening. Hey everyone, listen up. Were you aware that hearing and listening are not the same thing? To hear means to have a psychological response to oral stimuli. To listen requires a multi-process to receive and attaching meaning to oral stimuli. Therefore, if you are not actively listening, you are just hearing oral stimuli. Active listening is fundamental to having interpersonal communication skills. Through this speech, I will discuss how listening is an active process and how it can help us to communicate better in our interpersonal relationships. Active listening includes finding the deeper meaning of conversation. Anytime we communicate with others, we are listening, and through practice can master active listening to further personal connections. When we are actively listening, we can connect deeper with others. I am currently about to graduate with my AS in psychology. Ever since I took Intro to Psychology, active listening has been something that I have practiced to be a better communicator as well as have connections with people and things around me. I will explain ways to better improve and strengthen your active listening skills. The biggest thing that anyone can do to improve their active listening skills are to avoid common blocks to listening. The Meta Learn published an article on the website titled "How to Master the Art of Listening" by Nasos Papadopoulos, which describes how to master your learning skills or listening skills. There are many common communication blockers people participate in whether they realize it or not. You may not even know that you do it. But did you know that it was a conversation blocker you may have believed you were setting yourself up for success, but it was quite the opposite. Predicting what other people say is something that can cause a problem and a roadblock for you in conversations and active listening because we perceive actions through a certain view or lens, which it can always be important to ask for clarification even if you think that you may know what the other person was saying. For example, the misunderstanding that most common communication problems have is people perceive things in a certain way, but they did not intend for it to be that way. Another huge conversation blocker is predicting conversation. Don't rehearse what you're going to say. This could be planning confrontation, predicting multiple outcomes, or even predicting and rehearsing things to say to someone that you might have a connection with. A positive way that you can actively listen is to reflect back to the person. For example, this could be getting clarification. You said something like, "You wanted me to pick you up at 6, right?" Now that we have looked at common blocks to listening, let's look at some steps you can use to improve your listening skills. Here are some steps to improve your listening skills. The Forbes published an article on the website titled 10 Steps to Effectively Listen. This was posted on November 9th, 2012 by Diane Schilling. Step 1. Face the speaker. Maintain eye contact, and it is said the desire for the best communication pulls you together. Step 2. Be attentive. Be relaxed. This means to basically present and give attention, apply or direct yourself, and pay attention and remain ready to serve. Step 3 is to keep an open mind and the best advice was to listen without jumping to conclusions. Don't assume anything. Lastly, let's discuss the values of active listening and what it can bring to the table. Active listening brings deeper and closer conversations. When people can sense you actively listen, they know you care, and they will be more willing to open up to you. And so will you. It always allows us to have conversations with less misunderstandings, as well as sometimes our own bias can hold us back in conversations. This might be a certain belief, or maybe even you just feel a certain way about that person that you might think about. But if we listen and ask questions, we may understand someone in a way you wouldn't have otherwise. Through this speech today, I hope I have discussed some common blocks, things to improve active listening, as well as the value it brings to the table around you. The next time you have a conversation, just think back to the things we have learned about active listening today and how this might help conversation and provide value to you as well as them. And don't hesitate to spread the knowledge that you might have learned today. Helping educate others to be better active listeners will help someone as well as help you pass the knowledge on to the next time that they see blocks, good signs, or even know that communication has brought them value. Thank you so much.